Good morning. Today is October 20th, 2021. It's a Wednesday and I feel odd. Thank you so much for listening to the last episode. I'm still figuring out kind of how I want to do this podcast, but I am so happy that a lot of my friends are listening to all the wonderful things that I've been reading recently. This episode is a little bit different. I do not have a poem to read or necessarily anything from a book, but I have a text post that kind of reads like a poem that I read recently, and it kind of reminded me of a journal entry that I made last spring. So I'm actually going to incorporate both of them into the episode. So you get to hear a little bit, a page out of my own diary, and also something that I've read that really impacted me this week. I'm going to have a lot of trouble trying to read this user's name. I don't actually have a Tumblr, but this is a Tumblr post, and I read it from Instagram, and I think my best friend might have sent it to me. I think Morgan might have sent this to me, and I have it saved, and I thought this would be something perfect to put on the podcast because it's about what it's like being 19, and I'm not going to be 19 for very much longer, so now is an opportune time to read this to you. So the user for this post is Ursula Klegulin. I don't know. It'll be in the title of this podcast, so I'm sure that you'll know it by now, and whatever I said was just a very botched version of that name. Yeah, but this is a text post by them. Look them up on Tumblr if you would like. But this is how it reads. Being 19 is like, I'm an adult. No, I'm not. I'm cherishing the child inside me. The child inside me is rotting away. I have time. My trouble is I think I have time. I'm a procrastinator. I'm a multitasker. I'm so good at completing this mundane task. If I didn't have school, then I'd learn much more. Wait, I want to be in academia. Wait, I just want to create. I'm taking Cornell notes. I'm smoking a pack a day. I'm becoming my dad. I'm putting a mask on. I'm my truest self. I burn the house I love. I don't spend enough time with my family. I won't ever look back. I keep on looking back. I'm sure I didn't read that well enough for you to understand, but I wanted to describe it to you. There is a period after every single one of those lines. So it's like all of these statements that are coming from the author's mind that are like facts and thoughts and realities of life that are contradictory, but are so hopeful, I think, which is why I really like it, because being 19 really is like that. I'm trying my best to be an adult and be independent and be passionate, and I love my life, but it's also so difficult to transition, and I'm learning so much, but also sometimes I feel like I'm not learning at all. So it's just all of those things that I think made me really cherish this text post, because I definitely feel that way. It reads very coming of age, and I appreciate anything that is coming of age. Any movie. I'm a big Perks of Being a Wallflower, Lady Bird, any of those kinds of movies. I love them. Even Little Women, I grew up with that, and I feel like that's a very transformative story. Anything that's transformative or coming of age helps me to romanticize my own life, which I already do quite a bit, but I think that's what makes me such a passionate artist, and so I really appreciate any content that pays homage to that. So I'm also going to read you an entry from my journal from last May. It's the very first entry in my new journal that I got. I ended my last one on April 29th, and I began this one on April 29th. Usually they last me about 2 years, so it was very important for me to have such a good starting off journal entry, and I think it really sums up how this chapter in my life started, and it reminds me of this text post. So here is the first journal entry in my new journal. This was written on April 29th, 2021 at 3:00 p.m. Today I am packing up my small dorm room, 282 Monahan Hall, in a cold brew shipping box without packing tape to store away at Blake's house for 2 weeks until I move into my first apartment on May 21st. This morning, I woke up on Oscar, Cooper, Chip, and Chris's 1540 couch. The cushions were super uneven on my back, but it was cozy and comfortable in Oscar's red sweatshirt and cotton shorts that he lent me. Oscar spent a large portion of last night carefully assembling a makeshift sleeping area for Jonas and I, the two straggling sleepers that night after the party, with pillows from his bed, blankets from his closet, and mismatched throw pillows. I brought my toothbrush and my toothpaste in my backpack, along with a contacts case in the event that I did fall asleep there and I needed it. In the dark of the post-party living room, we talked until 3:30 in the morning about politics, racism, religion, the meaning of life and purpose, and our families. I adore the endearing spontaneity of college friendships. I only really know Jonas from Cooper's 3-day birthday party last month, but we still scream the lyrics to Gives You Hell to each other at parties like old classmates that grew up together. And now we're bonded by a Wednesday night talk on imposter syndrome and mental health on a Wednesday night. The endearment of college is existent in how beds are made up for each other after parties, or how we drive each other to doctor's appointments, or how Blake and I drive around with each other at night when our heads get loud, wasting all of our gas money on some semblance of emotional music comfort. Some days it is unbearable to be the only one carrying myself and my head through my own life, to shower and to dress myself and to soothe myself to sleep on bad days, to clean my room or clean puke out of my own clothes or pick up my own medication when I'm sick. Some days it is suffocatingly lonely. But singleness and being alone has also granted me this wonderful and irreplaceable sense of individualism and hope in the prospect of everything. Some days it just makes me adore myself and my strange wide open life, terrifyingly vibrant and unknown, and how strange it is to pack up my own room and move out all by myself, not due to some looming familial force, but just as an adult doing her best to do what's next. How insane is it that I just get to carry myself wherever I go? Just me. Can you imagine? To have a life that's all my own to craft and make and change and add purpose to? And to feel so much, to grow and learn so much. The change is already a hurt that I can barely bear, but it has already made me feel more alive. Hold on to that, Cassie Joy. Everything is so uncomfortable right now. Everything pricks and wounds. But don't stop. Don't settle. You're alive right now. You're so alive. Can you feel yourself changing? Happy first journal entry. There's so much more to come. So yeah, that's what it feels like to be 19 years old. Obviously, I wrote that a little while ago, so things have changed a little bit, but the overall feeling and overarching concept stays the same. I'm so thankful for the time of life that I'm in right now, so I love reading other people's perspectives and knowing that everyone at 19 or 20 or any of the ages that are like early adulthood is kind of feeling the same things, and everyone's helping each other out. I feel like there's such a camaraderie in this age. And I love reading works about that, about people trying and being hopeful and trying to create a life that they love to live in and a head that they love to live in. Because I know that's been something that I am constantly working on. But I'm so thankful for all the people in my life that are surrounding me that are just so beautiful that I want to write things about them. Not just journal entries, but I have so much work that I write about people in my life because my life is so beautiful with them in it. Well, that is today's odd feeling. Thank you for joining me this Wednesday. I hope you enjoyed the journal entry and the text post that I read. And until next time, I hope you find something wonderful to read. I'll see you on Wednesday.